Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is LolaAjisafe here. We're going to be talking about Ready to Love. This is episode 10. Is it numero? I don't know, numero 10? Whatever 10 is in Spanish. We're going to stick with English because that's about all I can manage. Episode 10, episode is called The Getaway Part 2. Before we jump right into it, please don't forget to like the video. This is how we roll. That's what it is. Hit the like button. This is how. Second of all, and should I say most importantly, please jump in the comments and tell me what you think about what I may have said today, tomorrow, yesterday, something I said last week. If you're feeling salty about something I might have said, you agree, you don't disagree, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. And last but not least, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. All right, so we're jumping straight into it. So we started off with, we're at the cusp of elimination. We have Jessica and Sierra. I already said Sierra last week that, yo, Sierra, you represented yourself appropriately. Girl, I'm proud of you. If they send you home, you didn't lose anything. You're a winner. They sent my girl home. Fair enough. All right. Another good one hits the dust. Y'all been sending some good players home. And I still use the term players because we know this is a game, but still, y'all sending some real solid players home. What are y'all keeping? I'm not trying to say anything bad about who's left, but I'm not impressed. It seems, yeah, production really trying to control this season. Y'all are not doing a good job. I'm sorry, but maybe you're gonna prove me wrong. I don't know what's going to end up at the end, but I'm not impressed. So clearly, you can see Jessica's mad about the combative comments. We had discussed it briefly at the end of last week's video about how, yeah, we don't want one behavior, whether it's bad or good, well, particularly bad, one action, one unsavory action that we might do to follow us and now define our whole narrative. So I can understand, it might feel distasteful if you might hear something if that's not who you've been, right? But here is, Chris checking on his boy Mario that, hey, my dude, what's wrong? You good? And of course, for various reasons, he could be checking on his boy. One, bruh, he had both his interests on the chopping block. Of course, now they really care more about the game than really the love interest itself. So if he's cutting out his options, he's really cutting off his nose to spite his face. That's what it felt like. So of course, Chris is checking in with him to say, hey, my guy, are you good? Janelle, up yonder, talk about, yeah, why aren't you checking on Jessica? First of all, Frick, because now we're going to call J&J, we're going to call him Frick&Frack. Because now, like, they clearly, you can see there's an alliance between them. But you know what it is about lions or animals in the wild. They eventually eat their own. So let's see how this goes. I don't know. But anyway, so Janelle's, interrupting Chris, checking in with Mario to say you should be checking on Jessica. Okay, so yeah, whoop-de-whoop-de-woo. Yeah, you could definitely understand that Jessica feels some way about the word combative that we use. But first and foremost, sis, you made it. Sierra didn't make it. So no, he don't need to check on you first. He need to check in with himself and see when he ready to talk with you. That's how it works. Did you guys go check in on Sarah? Clearly they're just all edits, At some point here, I'm thinking I'm just going to jump off the cliff with my parachute and say that it looks like Frick&Frack, aka Janelle and Jessica, or aka J&J, are in cahoots. And they formed a collision with producers or producer. Somebody that carries some weight around there, because it almost seems like Jessica feel like they have the sheer audacity to put her on the chopping block. Meanwhile, she got one interest. So it's not far-fetched to see why she'd be on the chopping block, but she mad. And I think, she's mad about combative, but I think she mad she was on the chopping block. Because she looked like, they both look, J&J, aka Frick&Frack, looked like they're ready to start something. Hence now giving fodder to the term combative, because right after the elimination, pursuing the route of the verbiage to prove who said this, who didn't say that, I know it's TV, so they probably want you to act a fool, but in real life, are you really going to be asking me what I said and what I didn't say? I already clocked you, because if you say you're my interest, how did I get on chopping block? 1, 2, how those words come out your own mouth. So in real life, there's no need to verify nothing. You said it, I ended up a chopping block, and I meant to be a number one interest. Like, you got 3 red flags just what do you want to verify? But in the name of reality TV, they want to draw it out and give us something entertaining to watch. I'm not tickled excited by this nonsense. Katerina comes in to check on Maria, and Katerina, she heard what I said. She feels the same way, like, why are we tiptoeing around this chick? Okay, Maria made a mistake, or maybe he didn't make a mistake. You know what they call it? He called Jessica combative in his, you're in the bottom two speech. The only person who should be really feeling bad right now should be Maria. Everybody else should be chilling. Because if I use a word to describe somebody in a meeting, and I take that word that might not be so savory and repeat it, then it's on me as an adult to realize that, ooh, I goofed. It's on Jessica to know that, ooh, okay, you know what, this is how they feel about me. But you already know this because you already know where it came from, where it stemmed from. But the person who goofed, and I did call him Mumu last week, and still coming into this week, that was he nervous? The camera, like, why you come up with that word? Like, you are not a high school student. You didn't know that using the word combative would be offensive. Brown man was talking to you one-on-one. I don't know if he said combative to her in person. I don't remember, but he was talking to you as an expression in the guy's lounge as to this is what transpired. And it could be rightfully, the exchange was. He said he wants soft. She said she not that. And there was a little, some heat. So he was well within his right. So what is there to question? He was well within his right to express the word combative. So I don't know why this has become a thing. It's like y'all don't have anything else to talk about but this. But I'm going to play along with y'all and we'll see where this goes. So Frick&Frack take a seat. They sit down to discuss this word combative again. You're going to use this whole thing for the whole episode clearly. So you're going to have me talking about, combative for this whole recap. The question now is, and we've already said it. Maria used the word. Now he acting like he didn't mean it. Why he used another man's words and he didn't mean it? Is that not a red flag right there? Are you a puppet? I don't know. I'm not sure. Like, and when he talked too, he spoke with such and he didn't adjust or fix what he said. So Frick&Frack are sitting down discussing. Truth is, you know what? Jessica, your beef was with Maria. If Maria didn't feel that way, why is he using another man's words to express and describe you? That's a problem. Could he have been nervous? Wherever he comes, whatever discussion you guys have and he comes up with, see if you can take it or not. But then to be like, yeah, I know who's saying it, but I don't know. Nobody gives a flying who said it. But clearly you're out for revenge. So here it ensues. Already I'm seeing that. They're telling me, based on what's going on now in the clips, that the bottom two are going to be Murray and Chris. I'm not going to count how many other women are there. Maybe there are 5 women now. You are all mumus. No, actually, no. So not all. But yeah, you are all acting like mumus. But more importantly, when you remove Frick&Frack, J and J, you've got 3. You these 3. If you allow Frick&Frack to dictate and narrate the narrative and send Chris home, you people are mumus proper. Because we can already see they've set the stage for me right now. I'm 10 minutes into the episode. I can see that Frick&Frack want Chris to go home. She now want Chris to go home because her girl Jessica is upset that she knows that the interaction she had with Chris was unsavory. But Frack, aka Jessica, knows she don't want Maurier, but she want to play her way all the way to the end. Because what's this? What is this for her? This is publicity for her company. At least that's what she thinks. So they've now determined as an alliance that, yeah, Chris is going home. And they probably might very well have a producer on their side. So they're confident in their position. Because we think about the other ladies, who is left? We have Lee, we have Aries, we have Katerina. Am I missing anyone? Y'all holler at me. They all have had some chat with Lee. That's Chris is her lifeline. Katerina. Chris could be a lifeline for her. There could be a connection because they had a nice cute little chemistry last week. And then Aries. Chris is always it's not just like a flimsy, The connection that Chris has with those 3 ladies is stronger than the connection Murray has with anybody else. Yeah, Murray and Jessica have been talking. At the beginning of the episode, I'm hearing that your elimination dates are going to be Murray and Chris. Let's go. They decide to cut to a cute scene of the boys. They start fishing, you know. Q say he allergic to seafood, but he's playing with a hook and fish. Don't ask me any questions. Maybe he's got his EpiPen in his back pocket, but that's really bright. But, you know, I don't know. I don't know. But it's stuff like this that keeps me in business. So carry on, sir. This scene was light and fun, and guess who was missing from this scene to make it light and fun, light-hearted? You know, as you know, Quentin was fumbling through what he was doing. It was fun. It was funny. It was a cute little scene, enough for me to decide to mention. And of course, as Lee is trying to navigate and help Q through what he's doing, who shows up? Oh, shouts from the door like a monitoring spirit. Janelle. Oh, baby, you getting fresh? Yo, I liked Janelle in the beginning. Not just because she was pretty, because she just seemed like solid. But she, I don't know. This is like, girl, sit back. Be truly confident. Don't pretend and act confident. Be confident. You have not got to the final lap yet. Let him talk now. Let him talk. You want to control him now? What will you do later? The fishing trip. Chris from nowhere pulls out a gift for Lee. I don't know. Pulls out pink sandals. Nah, my guy, you have 2 other interests. I don't know, these pink sandals are going to be the knife in your back, but he gives Lee pink sandals. I think this is all like, you know when you go, you know when you start giving bribes when you're trying to do politics. Like in Nigeria, when the politicians will go around giving bags of rice, you know, wads of money, like he's giving small bribe. If it does money, it's too obvious, so he decides to do it in the form of shoes. I don't know. But they did have a cute little connect, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. Those shoes were, yeah, the shoes were bad timing, my G. Probably should have kept those shoes till after elimination. But I'm just talking here. But she was really sweet about it. Was really grateful about it. He was gracious, and it was a nice, another cute. So Mario and Jessica finally have their conversation. There's nothing to discuss. Honestly, nothing to discuss. He used the word combative. What does combative mean? Because I'm tired, ready, or eager to fight, being an aggressor. All right, whoop to whoop whoop. You know, we're going to talk about the black woman. I'm a black woman too. Okay. Sometimes I can go rah rah rah. You were a little rah 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 with Chris. Chris talked with the guys. The guys agree. Mumu and Maury decide to use the exact verbiage that Chris used, because he didn't have his own words to express why you need to be eliminated, and he didn't take it back until now. Even though, what my confusion, and that's why I think it might be nervous. My confusion is, as an adult, why use a word that you're not connected to? Why use a word that you apparently, a word that you don't feel about this person? You've not had an experience of her being. Why did you use the word? That's the problem. So you more need to sit down and figure out why. And they need to apologize. So it's sincere. That's all. Finally, this day 2 or is this day 3? Guys, I don't know. But finally, Chris finds some time with Aries. I don't know. I may say it's a day late, a dollar short. They do some cute archery date, but I think Aries is too far gone with Phil to really find a connection with Chris at this point. But you know, she still says she appreciates that he made time for her. But if you see, look at this. This is an example. Aries has not, although Phil really has nobody else in the house, Aries has not needed to stamp her like, oh, that's mine. So anyway, they start talking. I like the words they're using while describing archery. So Chris goes on to say something about, let me get the right words he said. If your feelings are where they need to be, you're right on target. If your feelings are where they need to be, they're right on target. Sometimes our feelings are not in the right place. Sometimes your ass might be like feeling for somebody else's husband. Sometimes your ass might be feeling for someone who's no good for you. Sometimes your ass might be feeling for someone who's just trying to manipulate you. That one is all off target. But if by the grace and by the Spirit and by your good sense and by your intuition and by the Holy Spirit that lives in you, you start feeling, and people always say the right person. I mean, if I'm honest, I feel like the right person at that time may not be the right person 6 months from now. So sometimes the right person that turns out to be the wrong person was the right person because it was a lesson you needed to learn. Yes, there are mistakes, but all mistakes lead you to the path of where you should be. If you're being truly honest with yourself and you're not thinking like somebody else, or thinking because you're worried about what somebody else is thinking, you're staying true to yourself. You'll make all those mistakes to get on track because there are lessons you need to learn. That's what I feel like. There's this thing that Wayne Dyer would say, I mean, he's since passed, of course, rest in peace, sir. But in one of his books I read, that I spit this line all the time. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. As you navigate life, there'll be lessons you need to learn to prepare you for what's ahead of you. So I say all this to say is that that phrase he says could mean that and many other things. So it's never this, I don't believe there's just that one person, because for that one person that you may end up gelling with, there are going to be a lot of other people that will kind of help you navigate your path to see, okay, yeah, maybe I don't like cricket feet. Yeah, maybe whatever it is that you learn. That is if you go through the experience, not just being bitter or crying or being sad or feeling like a victim, but what did I get wrong here? What do I need to fix? Hence, when you clean up and heal and all the blah blah blah, you center yourself, get back on track. You get yourself onto where you need to be, and nobody can really tell you what on track means. I don't think anybody can really even tell you what's good for you, because essentially who lives in your head but you. So that's what I liked that's what I got from that line anyway, long story short. So Murray finally has a date with Katrina. I don't know if they had a date before. I don't see, yo. They're clutching for straws. Y'all, I'm tired. Murray, no. He even struggling to form connection with Katrina. Katrina knows she's trying to play along too. Neither one, A or B, are not feeling each other, but production put them at the same table. It's clear there's no connection here, but neither one wants to go home. The $50 you people keep paying them per episode is not making these people sit at the same table and pretend like they're interested. But anyway, let's keep playing with them. Brav pulls out, some of his crystals. One's the amethyst stone, let's talk about just the physical. It's for migraines, so maybe I need to get myself one of those. Spiritual, intuition, third eye awakening, so you can see past people's BS. Reduces negative energy and influences, gives you balanced emotions, calm mind, blah 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 blah. Guy pulls out his crystals, so he's not just, and this is not in any judgment zone, so yeah, he really is into Eastern mythology, astrology, crystals, tarot cards. What do you want with Jessica? Jessica, I'm not calling Jessica close-minded, but Jessica is not going to watch you be playing with crystals, doing tarot cards, go for tarot readings, my guy. Anyway, he decides he's going to start different. He's going to pull out crystals up front, see how Katrina is. Katrina from the jump has said she's spiritual, not religious. She's not quoting scriptures for y'all. She just this is how she does. So she agrees with him. She says she's batting for him. She says she'll support him, whatever he chooses. But I question the possibility of a connection with Jessica from the very start. What did they get to talk about? That crystal didn't come up. Tarot card didn't come up. They didn't ask her, what's your sign? Oh, maybe this high, like this is, and me, that's me just, what's your sign? Oh, you're a Taurus, or you're this, you're a Gemini? Oh, well, that didn't come up in the conversation? So now, at the end of the date, Brahman confirmed that, yeah, Katrina is one of his connections. So that confirms what we said last week when we said if he was really feeling Sarah like that, it wouldn't be like, when he was talking about it's too late, a day late, $1 short. But here on episode 10, you're trying to convince us that you have a solid connection with my girl, Katrina. Nonsense. Anyway, next date post the getaway, Janelle and Q meet up again. There's something that Janelle first said that came off the gate. I was like, okay, because she's like, yeah, we flow not like the other couples. I was just tired. Why you have to compare yourself to convince us or y'all that y'all flow? y'all could just flow. River Nile doesn't compare themselves to anybody else. Nobody. The Atlantic Ocean, same thing. Just be who you are, solo. Comparison is the thief of all peace and joy. When you compare yourself to somebody else, you're stealing your peace and your joy. Stop comparing. That already tells me, like, you people are acting. You're acting. That's what it sounds like to me. You're acting. If you have to feel good about yourself, you have to put yourself in comparison to something or somebody else. You're acting. Then Quentin, he still didn't bring up that beef that she had with Katerina, that with the unnecessary back and forth. And he knows he felt some way about it. But I guess, I don't know if he brought it up in real life and didn't bring it up on camera. I don't know. But he says something about conflict resolution. That's making me think that. Like, how do you deal with conflict resolution? And girl, she says something about, well, I'm going to say, AKA, she said, if you can prove it to me, then I will learn from it. So she's saying that you're not going to be able to correct her without proving it. Now, that's just my 2 cents I'm throwing in there. But because I'm going to need examples. I'm not going to call you an idiot. If I'm in a relationship, I'm not even going to call you an idiot. Wait, I'm just giving you an example. I'm just giving you an example. I'm not going to call you an idiot if we're dating without having told you why I'm all in my emotions. Wouldn't that be the evidence? So you stating the obvious, you didn't really tell me the truth. What you're saying is that you combative too. Like, you ready to fight because you've been fighting with different people. Because that answer was not an answer. But Quentin let you have it. Talk about, I'm going to need evidence. There's no way on God's green earth that you're in a relationship with someone, you're going to have a disagreement with them, but you're not going to tell them the roots of the disagreement. Like when you said WYZ, I didn't like that. How else are you going to do conflict resolution? There is no other way to do that. That's my point. So Janelle, your response was, the real question he really asking you, I'm asking you now, the real question I was asking you, Janelle, is that, like, if you disagree with somebody, are you going to get aggressive and rah, what I'm doing right now? Full body language and neck, maybe I should cut my neck to the side. That's what he wants to know. Or can you talk with him, keep your voice at an even keel, hear him out, and then say your piece? That is sometimes human nature. Sometimes you're going to be like all this, you're going to be all of this and all of this. That's it. But he's saying low key, aka he telling you, aka I don't want that kind of wahala, that noise I see you having with Katerina. I don't want that to enter us when we were talking. That's what I hear him saying. But you went somewhere else with it. But I'm just, for his peace of mind, I'm asking the question, like, can you always sit down with him? Well, most of the time, always cannot be true. Can you sit down with him at times and have a conversation where you can disagree with him, but peacefully, without your voice being raised or without attitude? Because I say this all the time. If you're shouting at me about something, particularly in a situation where it's a relationship, I can't hear you anymore. It's not even a conscious effort. The louder you shout, the less I hear. All I'm reading is your... So that's what I think you were asking about. But go ahead and redefine conflict resolution for him. All right, so next date, Phil and Aries. So, you know, Aries, practical young lady, already lost the age, but I want to say she's 43. You know, based on feedback from her friends, she's concerned about, you know, Phil's fiscal responsibility, his ability to be financially responsible, financially fluid, and comfortable. Does he have, you know, expendable income? Does he have savings? And does he have investments? And how is his financial future looking? That's what she want to know, because she's built herself. I'm talking for her right now. I'm talking for her. She's built herself in a comfortable financial situation. And who you hitch your cart to can determine the direction, speed of where your life will go. So it would behoove you to be thinking clearly. And if you want to float on water, you don't bring a big rock or 2 big rocks with you to sink you. No matter how heavy you are, you can't outweigh 2 heavy rocks. Because truth is, you know, maybe in your teens, love is all you need. But in real life, in the real world, when children are involved, when finances are involved, love is not enough. Gonna need a little bit more. I'm not saying he needs to be, you know, Dubai wealthy, but he needs to have something and something. He need both of them. You're gonna need to have something in hand, but more importantly, a mindset. Does he have that mindset? Or is he going to relax because he thinks she has it. Solid, real questions, but I don't know if she was able to articulate that because the camera was running. But that's the real. Like, where's his mindset? And is he looking at her as, you know, someone who's going to supplement him? Whereas is he going to chill, or is he going to go even harder? Not in competition, but because he wants to do for her. That's what I got with that. But once again, either because the cameras are rolling or because we as humans, honestly, because we don't want to hurt someone's feelings, we feel like we're going that hitting the jugular. She didn't want to do that because she knows that will go right to the root of his manhood. But it's still a real question that needs to be asked and needs to be answered. So will they do that behind closed doors? And if you allow these two ladies to control the narrative and send Chris home because that's what they want, not because that's what's good for all of y'all, but because that's what they want, then you know what? You know how they say people get the leader they deserve? Then you people have what you deserve. Because I don't see you all tripping over Mario. Jessica doesn't want Mario. This is now about pride. Low-key, Jessica may still want Chris, but she wants Chris to dance to her tune. And I'm saying that as a woman. I'm sorry. Come for me, I'll block you. But yeah, that's it. Like, yeah. Can we live and let live? But let's go into what unfolded and transpired, shall we? So, you know, of course, the regular thing when they go around the seating or the chair. Oh, you know, so who are your tops and blah, blah, blah. Lee now mentioned these pink Cinderella shoes or Barbies. Barbie that's in right now. These Barbie shoes that Brad bought for her may be the knife right here. Because he didn't buy Barbie shoes for the other two. My guy. I don't know if that was a good move though. You know, it was cute and sweet in the moment. But I don't know if you got gifts for the other two ladies. Because they didn't mention it or it was edited out. So that don't look good for you, right? Jessica goes on to say that me and Maria were solid. My guy. As I said, my girl. Sis, I don't know about this solid though, because he quickly is looking to establish connect with somebody else. Is that somebody who's established? Or is that somebody who you're solid with? Quentin is not running around to source out any new connects. Phil is not going around to source any new connects. But Maria is. And Jessica, you say you're solid. Why is Maria trying to source out connect? That's what I have to say. They get talking. This combative word comes up and it's going to be for the last time, y'all. Aries, she said, look, whether Chris said it or Chris didn't say this, because I know you want him on the chopping block. Is it not Maria's position to not say it? He chose to use the word. So the person you have beef with is not Chris, because he didn't say it to your face. It was Maria who said it to your face and still trying to toast you. Which kind of non-serious person are you? I'm like, girl, you just preach the word. Facts, as the kids say. Jessica goes on to say, when she's still talking about Chris, that yeah, she don't want Chris, and Chris can't buy her with anything. And this is what makes this kind of, you know, behavior makes us look bad as women. Why does it make us look bad? One, you are now trying to make somebody else feel bad because she received a gift. Because you didn't receive it, or whether you received it or not, but just trying to make her feel bad that you received it. Second, it's like, yeah, he can't buy you with anything. Nobody said he could. Nobody implied that. What are you trying to say, that he's somebody who's manipulative? I don't know him like that. You two don't know him like that to even say that. But just to in order to elevate yourself, you have to put somebody down. That make me think that you're weak. Because already right there, that was a whole palm tree you threw up there. Like, he can't buy me anything. He can't buy me. So you're saying he bought Lee? You want to play with these people's mind like they're small girls, and it may have worked. I don't know if that's what happened, or was producer that decides. But yeah, you were insulting, and Lee didn't need to get that straight. You didn't even need to shoot that straight. And what is your beef with Chris? Don't want you. You don't want Chris. Then what's the beef? The arrogance you're using. He can't buy you anything. Nobody said he should, or nobody said he could. It's neither here nor there. That arrogance is your problem, because it really wasn't relevant to any discussion on the table, in the lounge, on earth. Nobody's thinking that you could be bought. So to say it is irrelevant and trivial and kind of childish, quite frankly. There's no other way to take it but the way it was taken, that you're trying to diss Lee and Chris at the same time. Unnecessary. Sis, you're too old for this. This is not high school. Everybody know you got some money. I'm happy for you. Whoop-de-woo. Next, what about character, person, heart, grace, class, sisterhood? I don't see the guys tearing themselves down like this. Why do we have clips or edits of women tearing themselves down? Nah, Jessica, even if you stay to the end, you have not represented yourself in a manner that you would find. I don't even know you like that, but you have not represented yourself in a manner where you would be satisfied with. I'm sorry, you haven't. So you haven't won. Even if you do end up, that's the winning is not the end, it's the journey. These little. And obviously, maybe to get to know you, just all editing will be different, but how you've been portrayed or how you portrayed yourself thus far has not left me like, oh, okay, all right, sis. Nah, that comment was unnecessary. Hopefully, you apologize to her. I don't know, that's on you, but that's unnecessary. And of course, Lee came back, and Lee still came back and said, you know what, you're a great woman, but Chris did not have a good experience of you. That tells me character. Do you see the difference in the way it's going? She still came up with, you are a great woman, but Chris still didn't have a good experience with you. That's life. Everybody's amazing, but an amazing person is not for everybody, and you're not for everybody. You weren't for Chris. Simple. Why are we still talking about it? That's the difference. And when I look at you, how did you represent yourself? Simple as ABC. Simple. She told you facts and even gave you a compliment. You told her, a fallacy and tried to insult her at the same time. That's character right there. Person. Heart. Where's your heart, girl? Anyway, we're going to the elimination dates. Well, Mari meets up with Aries, friend zone guy, but he still stays. When did that ever happen? When did that ever happen? When did the guy who was everybody's friend, the homie? Guys, we're going down to the final three, right? Are we not going down to the final three? Why would you not keep the homie? Mari is the homie to everyone, even to Jessica. Who is his number one? Because we're down to the final three. Anyway, you can be playing yourselves. You're not playing with me. Let's go to the beef, the man, bam, bam, bam. Jessica and Chris. Jessica, mouth watering. She's been waiting for this. The producer who's at home, he said, I'm going to set you up, girl. You're going to get him. You're going to get him back, girl. You're going to get him. You're going to get him. So she had to get him. She in her Barbie pink. I think she was wearing pink. Tell me if I'm wrong. I don't remember. Part way into the conversation, Chris is like, you said you couldn't be I said I wanted somebody who was soft. You said you couldn't do that. You're not my person. Simple. Bam. As a Nigerian would say, bam. It looks, as the conversation flows, it looks like I don't know, you'll tell me, but they look edited as, because she says, just, how those who work in corporate America, you all know how somebody comes for you and gives you a cut here and a cut here and has a cold smile. They cut you. Actually, that one's I'm giving compliments. No, they come from behind and they give you like 500 little pinpricks in the back and turn around and come and smile like they didn't do anything. Corporate America for you folks. So she says her words like, well, the ladies, blah, 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 say you're not ready to love. Like, got you B. And then all of a sudden they cut to where he says, well, da 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 da. It didn't look fluid. So I don't know what transpired. I don't know what Jessica said and what Chris was responding to. But Chris looked like he was butthurt. Like, he was hurt. He was hurt by either being cut or their conversation that was now created to be one-sided. It was so obviously one-sided that you can tell. They edited it out. This edit was clearly to put Chris in a different light. I don't work for Chris. I do not work. I'm not, public relations or anything when we're relative. But I can say that it didn't look cohesive at all. I'm not sure what was edited out, but something was edited. because it was just like cham 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 cham. You know, it was like wait, like if you look at the energy dispensation, he will rah rah. Nobody is a mad person here. He rah rah rah. You don't respect me and da da da. I don't think it happened out of the blue. We're F this and F that. Just like that. Where we come from, we don't use the F word just like that. I'm not excusing his upset or his behavior or the way he channeled himself or carried himself, because he could have used more grace. He could have maintained to beat her at her own game. But clearly he doesn't play games. You know, he has no experience with corporate America, so he doesn't play games. So everything to me, Jessica got what she wanted. She in with production. Chris was not able to save face. Like what would have been really sweet, how you could have played this out, my G. We're like, you already know, because you see this coming. If you're sitting at an elimination date with Jessica, you know they're trying to get rid of you. Don't give them that pleasure. In fact, you should have come correct to the nines. Okay, maybe a tie would have been too much. Come, I hope you are smelling good. Come, sit down, listen to her, let her talk. Let her stumble through her word self. Don't say nothing, nada, nothing. Let her finish talking. Thank you, Jessica. And get up. Don't even drink your drink. They will not have had any material on you, my guy. It would have looked obvious as it looks obvious to me. That would have. But now you give them footage. F this, F that, that. My guy, now come on now. Guy. You know how the world is. People go try and come for you. There's a lot of gaslighting. A lot of gaslighting in this world. People will try and gaslight you and say you crazy. You give them material to say, oh, that's why I didn't like him. No, you didn't like him because you didn't like him. You were looking for somebody's buttons to press. Somebody who you thought you could control. I'm not saying that's what you want, but I'm just saying that's what you want. So yeah, so unfortunately, Chris went out in a blaze of flames, and Maria's been saved for another day. But that's top 3 now. Do they cut anybody after top 3? They'll cut one woman, and that's the end. And here we go. Production has sent home another good potential. I thought he was a potential guy. He's I was gonna say somebody's guy. He's many people's guy, because he seems like a reasonable fellow. I didn't say he's perfect because I don't know him. I don't know his family, but just his reasoning. Now that final scene really made him look kind of shaky, because sometimes, in the need or the desire to get good TV, you won't mess up somebody's rep. So he's gonna have to do a lot to clean that up. Like that but it was so erratic too. Even the edit, it didn't look good. But I think anybody with 2 ears and eyes, whether they're fake or not, can see that we're missing a lot of context here. But guys, we're at the end of the episode. How do y'all feel about this? I'm a little bored. See how this ends. Call me a liar, because last week did I not talk about how Q not sure about Janelle again, because she looking like she a little bit much, because even Chris on his exit out, he said you and Janella, what do you call them, mean girls. That's obvious, but some guys like mean girls. So Q looking like he's still trying to straddle the fence, or he's still trying to cement his backup, or who knows. Guys, we'll see you next week, but thanks for watching. Lola over and out.